You're listening to New England Real Estate Journal Radio with Rick Kaplan, New England's source for commercial real estate news. This is New England Real Estate Journal Radio on the Money Matters Radio Network and online at moneymattersboston.com.
Welcome to the New England Real Estate Journal Radio Show. I'm Rick Kaplan with my co-host Eric Wilson, and we've had a lot of crappy weather the last few days. Can I say crappy?
I think crappy's okay.
Yeah, the snow, and I really hate the snow. I hate the cold. I want to go south.
Is that why you've been all doom and gloomy this week?
Yeah, it doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah, well, it's the gray that we get here in the winter.
I every time you see the person and they say, "Oh, I love the cold weather. I love the snow. It's so nice." They obviously never sat on 128 or Route 90, Interstate 95 in the snowstorm.
I would assume that they were born and raised in the area, because when you've lived down south. I've lived down south, and the winter there is the fall here, and that's pretty good for me. I'm not a big fan of the snow either.
But you know what I want to do for 2014? I want to try to get cities and towns, try to put on one city or town every week that give us the reason why a commercial real estate or commercial property owners would want to come into your city or town. What do you have to offer them? Tax breaks.
Oh, right. So like
attractions,
economic development.
Yeah.
Right.
From an economic development, a mayor, a selectman. I would like to get one on every week. So if you know of any city or town officials that would probably want to talk about that, we'd love to have them come on the show. And they can contact me at radio@nerej.com or call 800-654-4993.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh in the middle of that. I think that's a good plan. It's a good idea. I know that there's a lot of them that write for us in the paper, all over Rhode Island. Warwick, I know, does. Quonset in Connecticut. I know that Plymouth does for Massachusetts for us. But, I think it's a good idea to get, or at least chambers of commerce, things like that.
Because that's who we're catered to on our show.
Right.
We're catered to the cities and towns and the commercial property
owners. Right.
And it's all related.
Right. In our first year, we just did a lot about the construction, brokerage, developments, finance. And obviously in 2014, we want to increase our interviews list and get into some of the other sides of commercial real estate, which is, the economic development, industrial parks, business centers, things like that.
Right, and I think a lot of cities and towns now have to be a little more unique with how they package the properties to bring some of the industry to their cities and towns. It's great for taxes.
Right, yeah.
And also you have a lot of these these small towns.
Yeah.
That, they have these downtown areas that are really nothing anymore.
Right.
Some of them are generating a new look.
Right.
Try to bring a little
reinventing themselves.
Little boutique shops, bring back the old small cinemas.
Right.
Some attractions to bring people to the area.
Well, to get people back out and spending time in their towns, and shopping there. Because there is a lot of those shopping centers that have become regional, almost like, in counties. Like South Shore has, malls and things like that. And I know the North Shore has the same. So I assume that that's what they're going to do. I mean, everyone has to.
And we talk about the city of Boston all the time. And the city has all kinds of things going on. Mm-hmm. But we need to talk a lot more about all these other, the outskirts of the city.
Right.
Like we have Quincy.
Quincy, lovely place.
And Quincy has got some great development going on.
Remember
for
we had
commercial.
we had the mayor on who came on and talked about the redevelopment of the center.
Yeah, well, we never did, but
we didn't.
No.
Oh, we just talked to him at like what, a networking event or something.
Yeah, we talked to him. He'd love to come on, and we'll have to get him on. And also in Lynn, they're trying to do things like that. And
right. We met the Quincy mayor at the IREM.
Yes.
Right. At the IREM event. That's when we talked to him. I was like, man, I remember talking to him about all the development in Quincy in the center, and they're redoing all that. And that was a huge project that passed.
Yeah, and they really did a great job on changing a lot of the roadways there, making it a little easier to get around in the city.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on. 2014 is going to be,
And we'd like to know about any other cities or towns in the Massachusetts area that are doing things like that.
Of course.
To bring that attraction for commercial property, as well as to bring in like a condominium,
living space,
apartment,
right,
multifamily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, our show is brought to you by the New England Real Estate Journal, bringing together the commercial real estate industry for over 50 years. Find us at NEREJ.com. If you'd like to be a guest or sponsor for the show, call 800-654-4993 or email radio@nerej.com. That's 800-654-4993 or email radio@nerej.com. And we're going to be right back. We have Joel and Joann Breuer from HD Cornerstone coming in for an interview. And we'll be right back on Money Matters Radio Network.
The next level in commercial real estate. Rick Kaplan on the Money Matters Radio Network and online at moneymattersboston.com.
And we're back on the New England Real Estate Journal radio show. I'm Rick Kaplan with my co-host Eric Wilson. And our interview today with Joel and Joann Breuer of HD Cornerstone is brought to you by Consigli Construction, your partner for success. Consigli Construction is a leading construction manager and general contractor headquartered in Milford, Mass. Consigli, a fourth-generation family-owned company, services clients throughout New England and New York area. Consigli's projects are distinctive for their exceptional craftsmanship. Consigli provides innovative solutions to challenging projects. For more information about Consigli Construction, call 508-473-2580, or to view their portfolio, visit consigli.com. That is CONSIGLI.com. And we have in the studio Joel and Joann Breuer of HD Cornerstone, and they're going to tell us about what's going to happen in 2014 and maybe a little about what happened in 2013.
Well, thanks, Rick. Thanks, Eric, because I have to say first, even before we get started here, that we have had more fun with you two this year. Such a great time. It's hard to believe it's December. So glad you came to our networking event we met, because it really made it enjoyable, a lot of fun, and I've really enjoyed watching how the radio show has taken off. You guys have done great.
So I think what she's saying is you guys made our year.
Oh, thanks. We appreciate it.
That was very nice, Joel. And Joann. We appreciate that. And you guys have made our year. We've had a lot of fun with you guys.
We've had a lot of fun together.
And that first networking event, I got that invitation, and Eric said, "That's a Friday night. I'm not going out." I said, "Come on, we'll go to Boston." And
this is like sappy hour. Like I feel like we're talking about an ex-girlfriend.
Well, you
They're
had.
Like, you didn't want to go to Friday? It's
We
like
don't
my
have enough
story for
time to
life.
talk about all of Eric's ex-girlfriends this year.
Exactly.
As I was saying, and we bring it back to business. It was funny. He came in when I wasn't going to do it. It was a Friday. I'm a young guy, but it turned out to be the best thing that happened to me for my career at the Journal.
Oh,
and
good.
Obviously, the radio show. You've helped us bring this to new heights and helped us keep it for a year. Who knows? When we first met, we didn't know how long this was going to go, and we really appreciate everything you guys have done for us.
It's been fun. It's been quite a ride. I mean, you guys, it was months ago. I think it was like May or April or something. You're talking about, you should come on this radio show. It's about commercial real estate.
Yeah.
We thought, all right, we'll give it a try.
Yeah, we've had quite a few guests that they
You guys
have
have brought
a little
on.
leery
Right.
about it, and they come on. One of the nice things about our show is that it's pre-recorded, and people sometimes can say the things they say things they shouldn't say, and we can cut them out.
Yeah, but I read the fine print, and that cost extra. So
It
most
does.
of our shows are unedited.
Actually, it's been our privilege and our pleasure. We've really enjoyed it. We feel like HG Cornerstone really benefited from our relationship and from you guys out there networking and being part of the show. And we've seen the growth in the show, and it's really been exciting. But most of all, we've just really enjoyed getting to know both of you. So good year.
And
Good year.
right back at you.
Thanks.
We enjoy meeting with you two. I mean, it changed our whole outlook on the industry.
Good.
It did,
We
it
like to
did.
do.
It did.
That's my favorite thing in life is getting people to change their perspective. So if you can be think in terms of growth or think in terms of opportunity, and I've touched that in a little way. Thank you.
And actually, that was the whole impetus behind the networking events that we put on. We wanted to help people add value to their businesses. Right. And we've watched so many people this year connect with each other. It's been amazing.
Yeah. What are some of the highlights of 2013 other than obviously meeting me? I mean, meeting us. Sorry, meeting us.
Oh my goodness. So obviously being part of New England Real Estate Journal Radio has really been fantastic for us. But, HD Cornerstone has just seen so much growth and so many exciting things. And the opportunities that have come our way this year and the people that we've met has just really exceeded all expectations going into the year. And I was saying that I've always been a really big, focused, goal-oriented person. And so usually this time of year, I have the goal posters out or the goal books, and I'm doing goal setting, which I've been doing for a month now. And this year has truly exceeded all expectation of what I had put on paper. And that's very unusual to get to the end of the year and feel like you actually exceeded what you thought you would do. So it's been a good year.
It's unusual, but that's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, and it actually makes me think bigger for next year. So watch out 2014. Watch out what HD Cornerstone is going to be accomplishing in 2014. It's just going to get better.
We're looking forward to that.
So with that said,
my goal setting.
Your goal setting. So what we thought we'd do today is profile Joann.
Yay!
And talk about why she's so excited to be in real estate.
Yes, that sounds like a great idea, Joel.
I like the plan.
I'm glad you brought that up.
So on the way up here, in fact, we were joking, and she wanted our latest edition, her name is Regan Hartley, to interview her. Unfortunately, she's on a cruise right now.
She's enjoying sunshine.
And I said, why would you rather have her do the interview? Does she bring that much more energy?
I said, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'm
I'm
gonna try to get through this with.
But you know me so well.
I know. It's almost like cheating. I know all the answers before I ask the questions.
Well, I think what you asked is, we're going to talk about real estate and how I became, the Joann Ganaway Breuer that's part of HD Cornerstone, and how HD Cornerstone has, come through 2013 and how it all began, but really kind of set up for the vision of where we're headed, because we've made some changes and they're going to be pretty exciting. So do you have a question you want to start with?
Yeah, I'd like to start with your childhood. As we've done so many times with guests on the show. I think she's got so many funny stories about growing up, and her parents were in real estate, and she got this real estate bug from her parents. And one of my favorite stories is, I don't know how old you were at the time, but she's dressing up in her mom's business clothes. She grabs a briefcase. And she goes to a local coffee shop, and she starts filling out real estate forms.
So one of the things.
And how old were you?
Okay, so we'll back up just a little bit, and then I'll tell that story. So how I got my start in real estate was really simple. I have a mother and a father who, my grandfather, H.G., was an entrepreneur. So my parents had the entrepreneur bug. And what greater place in their minds to fulfill that but in real estate? So my earliest memories are of my parents first being on-site property managers and then going into real estate themselves. And they would buy these old, horrible houses and fix them up. And when they were beautiful and looked like custom homes, and my sister and I were finally okay with bringing people home to play, they would sell it and do it again. And, one of my earliest memories, I'm not even in kindergarten, and my mother and father owned a lot of investment properties, 34 in Huntington Beach, California. And we were out giving people what are called 3-day notices in California. So it's you haven't paid your rent, you're getting evicted. And so
3 days
it was,
quick. Yeah.
it was my mother's part of the relationship to go out and serve these notices. And I remember being in the back of our, Dodge Valiant. I can remember it was white. And I'm looking out that we didn't have seat
Rick
belts.
still drives one of those, by the way.
Those are collectors now. I'm old.
With a slant six engine?
Yeah, that thing So she puts it on the door, and these people come out, and they have and I remember looking out the rear window. My mom jumps in the driver's side, and they're chasing us down the street, literally with this piece of paper, banging on the car. And my mother so calmly says to me, Joann, it's a business, and I take care of the house and provide them with housing, and their part of the agreement is to pay their rent. And when they don't pay their rent, they have to go. And I remember growing up in real estate and always looking at it like it's a business. And I think that just gave me a very different perspective from someone who just buys their first house, which we'll talk about later as well.
And that could have backfired, though. I mean, that could have been a bad experience where you thought,
oh, no,
I don't want to do what my parents do. This is crazy.
No, we've had, along those same lines, we had people banging on our door. And you've had death threats. I mean, I think that when you're in real estate property management, sometimes that just goes with it.
You ain't somebody unless someone's trying to kill you.
Right.
I mean, I've had the death threats, and I'm not even in
I'm pretty sure that was one of the famous lines of Biggie.
That's
Papa.
Biggie, yeah. Well, and it's true. And
I get a lot.
And what's funny, though, is being, for me, being in construction and real estate, where things get really heated and people get really crazy, isn't so much the construction where you'd see that. And, I've had guys that, on construction crews or whatever, we get into disagreements and they want to fight you and all this kind of stuff. And that just kind of goes with the territory. But in real estate, when a deal's not going the right way or someone thinks they're not getting, what they should be getting, that really brings out the worst in people. So, yeah, I've got some stories about that.
Well, anything that relates to large sums of money,
Right.
it gets very stressful.
And people's
stress.
housing. So you're
Yeah, it's much more personal.
You are responsible for something that people take personally.
Of course.
So one instance was a domestic dispute. A man was beating his wife, and they had 2 small children in the house. And my mother went over and stopped him. This big man, here's my mother. She goes and gets in his face, literally pulls him off of his wife, puts her in our house with the children, calls the police, and he's trying to break down our door. And that was, I had the strongest mother imaginable and a terrific role model, understood the business, had a mind for it that was unbelievable, and a strength that was, it permeated every ounce of my being from a very young age. I had so much admiration for her, but I don't think I would necessarily break up a domestic dispute. These days, it's pretty dangerous, but, those were all part of my life. So it didn't really cause me to have a fear of it.
But she definitely passed that strength on to you.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
can
That's
handle
why
myself.
she keeps you in line, Joel. That's how she keeps you in line.
That's exactly right.
Well, we want to go to a break, and let me put my glasses on. I can read this. Consigli Construction, your partner for success. Consigli Construction is a leading construction manager and general contractor headquartered in Milford, Mass. Consigli, a 4th-generation family-owned company, services clients throughout the New England and New York area. Consigli's projects are distinctive for their exceptional craftsmanship. Consigli provides innovative solutions to challenging projects. For more information about Consigli Construction, call 508-473-2580, or to view their portfolio, visit consigli.com. That is CONSIGLI.com, and we'll be right back on Money Matters Radio Network.
Rick Kaplan and Eric Wilson, right here on the Money Matters Radio Network and online at moneymattersboston.com. New England Real Estate Journal Radio.
And we're back on New England Real Estate Journal Radio. I'm Rick Kaplan with my co-host Eric Wilson, and we're talking with Joel and Joann Breuer of HD Cornerstone, and our interview is brought to you by HD Cornerstone is New England's most innovative real estate and construction advisory firm, now serving their clients nationwide. HD Cornerstone offers comprehensive services in real estate advisory, construction consulting, engineering, and litigation support. Consider HD Cornerstone's advanced and proactive commercial and multifamily real estate due diligence services. HD Cornerstone works with your acquisitions people on an outsourced basis or can supplement your in-house staff as needed. Visit them online at hdcornerstone.com or call 617-575-2300. That's hdcornerstone.com or call 617-575-2300. And We're here with Joel and Joann of HG Cornerstone.
I just want to say that's a great ad. Nice job, Rick.
You want to read that again?
Wait,
He
I
will,
gotta
he
take
will.
a deep breath.
He will after
job,
we
Rick.
get back to the newlywed game.
So is
Before
this
we
Eric was saying this is like the newlywed game?
Well, yeah, it's you guys are interviewing each other, and Rick and I are over here guessing answers. No,
But it's unusual.
we
A
act
husband
like
and wife
newlyweds.
working together and having so much fun.
And we get the question all the time, how can you work with your spouse?
That's right.
And a lot of times I say, well, I shouldn't say this on the air, but I met your spouse and I couldn't work with that person either.
that's
No, I'm kidding. Only joking.
That's funny.
He's only half kidding.
Man, where do you go from there?
You know what? We have
Well,
a lot
it was
of
my
fun.
wife
We
he
do.
met.
We-
That's why.
Actually, we
Actually,
never
I've
met her.
Never met her.
Well, now you won't.
And just because of those comments, I'm not introducing you.
now she's not my wife anymore.
We've only met your sidekick over here. We like him. So.
Well, you met
Nice.
my son.
And we met
You
your
met your
son.
son. Great kid.
Before we took a break, you guys were talking about a funny story about dressing up in a little briefcase and playing. We'd like to hear more about that if we could.
So one day, so Joel basically told the story, but when I was about 9 years old, I gathered up some change, put on my mom's blazer, grabbed her briefcase with some old real estate forms, put some makeup on, and I walked a half a mile to the coffee shop, and I sat down and had the waitress pour me a cup of coffee, and I pulled all those forms out, and I'm writing on them like I'm a business person, and she's just, hey, sweetheart, do you need more coffee? I'm like, yes, please, and I'm dumping sugar in it, but, I always knew that I loved business. And I knew that I loved real estate. So, even at 9 years old, instead of playing dolls, I was playing real estate.
Whoa, you
So-
were 9 in this story?
I was 9.
Wow,
I was
that
9,
makes
yeah.
a much cuter one
Yeah.
and much more fun. I thought you might have been,
Versus been like
28. I'm scared. I'm only teasing.
Well, because he says that because at 28 he's still playing with dolls.
Hey, there's adult dolls.
Okay, that's a different show. That's the other show.
Way too much TMI.
But
Rick's always getting me off track.
But by 18 years old, I actually was married with 2 children, and I just I know Eric's shaking his head. You can't see that if you're not in the studio.
Yeah, right.
Because it really is a little bit crazy when you look at it now. But at 18, I had 2 children, and I was married, and had decided that I wanted to buy a house, of course, because I'm 18, I can sign a contract. I'm not buying a car, I'm buying a house. And I even told my mom and dad, who really were very unhappy with me for having this expectation. You are not going to be able to buy a house. You set your sights too high in life. You have to come back down to earth.
And these are California parents, not Massachusetts parents.
And
Their days are always
crazy
sunny
sound.
there.
and having a daughter that's 18 years old and having 2 kids.
Right, which is crazy in and of
Right.
itself, right?
Right.
So I was very upset with them for not supporting my ambition and decided I would show them. And I seriously did go out. I bought a brand new 1,500 square foot townhome in Carlsbad, California with an ocean view. And I did not tell them again what I was doing until I had closed what there is called escrow, transfer of title, had the keys in my hand, and I invited my parents to go for a drive and drove them to Carlsbad, pulled up in my driveway and said, I bought it. And they were shocked. And I can remember throughout my life multiple times my mom and dad saying, okay, well, we're not going to tell you. We don't think you can do that. So that kind of
They learned their
silenced
lesson.
that.
That's right. They found that out.
Especially when you met
wanna
Joel.
Do, you'll do.
Well, actually, the funny thing
No,
about
that
meeting
actually,
Joel
yeah.
is
My mom introduced
at
us.
18, I was married, and when I got divorced, I put my first husband through school to become an airline pilot, and he left me for a flight attendant. And I lost my house subsequently in the divorce. I had to sell it and moved back in with my parents, which was devastating, and just thought I would regroup. And next door to me is this cute young man. And I'm going through a divorce
What happened to
Who
him?
was that, by the way?
Yeah.
I'm going through a divorce with
I thought
2
we were
children.
talking about Joel.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
we were-
that wasn't me. Okay, just checking.
That's what I get
I'm
out.
sorry. You sure it was Joel that lived there? Oh, I thought this was another guy.
He had roommates, and there were other cute guys there
Okay,
too.
nice.
But when I started living with my mother, she said there's only one rule. And because I hadn't lived at home for a very long time. And she said, one rule, you can't date the guys next door. And then 7 months later, she said, I met this guy next door, and I really like him. I think you should meet him. And lo and behold, she set it up for him to come to a family dinner. And
4.5 months later,
we were married.
What?
4.5 months. True story.
Where is the book on this life?
I know, I have a
You're
crazy
dressed up.
life.
it's coming out. It's
You know,
coming
and we
out.
didn't even talk about, like, I walked the cow home and that kind of stuff. Like, I've had the craziest life. So I meet Joel. My mother introduces us, and this is how Joel got me, and I'll be real quick here. Yeah. So he makes this homemade lasagna dinner, brings it over to my mother's house, serves my mother, her best friend, my aunt, and myself dinner. And then
Four ladies.
4 ladies.
Wow.
And they're
that's
all
walking
much
in
older,
tight.
and they're all telling
That's
me
some
the man
courage,
cooks.
Joel. Courage.
Then he cleans up dinner, serves us coffee, and goes out and cleans my mother's windows. He used to do windows professionally in college.
And
Seriously.
Joel, if you're not doing anything
Seriously.
this weekend,
You know,
And
I sold all my window washing equipment years ago. So sorry, Rick.
He did help write a book about it,
Who
though.
would have thought the quickest way to a woman's heart was to wash her mom's windows?
You know what? Let me just tell
After
you.
you serve her dinner, clean up, and get coffee.
Yeah, and so these 3 women look at me and they go, "Sweetie, he can cook, he cleans it up and does windows. There isn't much more you could want in a man." And which I have found there is.
you want to say.
We're not going to go
gotta
there
give me
either.
kudos there too.
Yeah, let me just
I
say,
was thinking
there
Joel
are
setting
things he
the
does better
precedent
than windows
way
and
too
cooking.
high. I mean, windows.
You know, but
cooking, cleaning. Stop it.
we've
That
been
sounds like
married
things
for,
Smokey
it will be
would do.
21 years next
Congratulations.
week. Thank you.
Congrats.
And we actually have more fun and enjoy each other more even now than we did
21
then.
years next
21
week
years
would
next
put you
week.
guys around Christmas. You get married.
2 days after.
27th.
Wow, that's a serious celebration. You got Christmas.
Yep.
Well, I'm assuming, and then yeah, you know, these days you don't want to jump ahead. Then you have your anniversary, the
Yes.
27th, and then you guys celebrate New Year's.
Yes.
Are you guys going away?
No.
Joel, well,
Not-
what the hell?
not
You
this
do
year.
windows, and now you're not even taking her away for the anniversary.
No, because we have New Year's Eve plans and we have Christmas
Oh,
plans.
what do you
but
guys have for New Year's planned? Anything special?
I just want to reassure you, we'll be having a lot of fun
I know.
between Christmas and New Year's.
I can imagine.
We're
I
going to
can-
do spa day. We'll go out
Oh,
to dinner.
Spa day, your
Oh,
favorite,
God.
Joel.
You know what? We have
Spa
so
day.
much. We sent you photos of him
I
getting a
know.
petty
He's
this year.
He's called me. He's like, I
Yeah.
got my Manny Petty.
Yeah.
And I love it. I
See
mean,
what happens to you after 21 years.
You know, hey, that's the confidence level.
Hey, I was married longer than that, Joel. It never happened.
It was all a sinister plot, though, to get her to marry me. You know
As you can see, Rick's face, he doesn't look as happy as Joel. I guess Manny Petty's.
Oh, he looks
do
pretty
make
happy. I don't know.
wonders.
Well, now
The
I'm
big
happy.
scratch.
Now I'm happily. Now I'm happily married.
Nice.
You know.
Well,
Well,
fantastic. Let's
yeah.
get back to real
So,
stuff.
well, what was funny about meeting Joel is our very first encounter, just to back up slightly, is I'm marching across his lawn to go break down someone's door because someone stole my son's brand new rollerblades. And so as I'm passing Joel shooting hoops on the driveway, and I just kind
I
of
like that.
hey. And that actually was very impressive to him,
was.
that I went over and I told the 16-year-old kid, you know, I won't use all the words I used, but basically said, you know, don't mess with my son. And Joel's like, yeah. So
Strong woman.
Yeah, I definitely got some Beverly in me.
Nice.
That's her mom, by the way.
So that was his first impression of me, was going to get the rollerblades, and he still cooked for me and wanted to marry me.
Wow.
So pretty
So-
cool.
So that brings us to we did the HG Cornerstone style.
Yeah, how do you guys go from getting married, then deciding, you know what, we don't spend enough time together, let's do business?
Well, I think
Wow,
that,
since you put it that way.
I know. Well, I wanted to put a nice
I think
spin
that
to it.
it's my nature to feel what people want from their life. So I have this intuition, and instinctively I can understand when you want something out of life and what suits you, and I come up with an idea.
Nice.
So when I married Joel and I could see things that would help him pursue his goals and his dreams, I jumped right in and helped him start developing in corporate America.
Clothes, hair,
Oh, well, I told him I couldn't date him until he got a new wardrobe.
new car.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she had a whole
I did.
list of things.
She goes, you know,
Yeah.
I like
And
you.
I was smart enough to
I like
listen,
you
too,
so
so-
much, but I won't date you
But-
unless you have a complete makeover.
but-
Truly,
Truly.
that was our conversation. A
But-
haircut and a whole new
But
wardrobe.
what brought us together, though, was our interest in business.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nice.
yeah.
So what's funny though is, as we've kind of alluded to, I mean, I was born and raised in Southern California. Joel had come out after college, and just thought he would get some sunshine. And he married me, and we stayed there for 17 years.
So he got it.
So he got
a summer turned into
Well, you got
17
the
years.
sunshine you wanted in your life.
Oh, yeah.
He did. And so Joel's an engineer, graduated from Northeastern, left Boston in 91. We got married in 92. And right away, I started talking to him about entrepreneur opportunities. So have you thought about having your own engineering consulting business? That was kind of a no. And it just evolved into, I actually started a maintenance business that turned into a construction business. Then we started the real estate company, Cornerstone Real Estate, and we were doing multifamily brokerage. And we took this one particular young man who was about 24 years old and helped him by teaching him how to invest in multifamily real estate. And he was sharp, and he did what we told him to do, listened to us and went for the guidance, and became a multimillionaire in less than 5 years. And so we've been really fortunate to work with people, and you get really excited when you're making a lot of money. And you get really excited when people are fulfilling their own dreams, and you're part of that. So that was Cornerstone Real Estate. And then we had Breuer Construction, and we were doing all things multifamily real estate and construction. And then we got this great idea. I love New England, absolutely love Boston. 2008, let's move. So we packed up the car. The older two had already grown and moved out, and we just had one at home who was in middle school, and said, great place to go. So we packed her up and moved her out here, and that was 2008. So.
Oh, right after the perfect time.
Well, we got
right after the crash.
All right, we have to go to another break. We want to continue on with that, but
well, we got to Boston.
Rick's always the bummer.
Yeah,
always telling us to shut it down.
Like New England.
Got to pay the bills.
Week with all the snow and cold.
She loves it.
All right,
I'm ready to go back to California though.
Me too, and I haven't even been there. And our interview is brought to you by HD Cornerstone, is New England's most innovative real estate and construction advisory firm. Now serving their clients nationwide, HD Cornerstone offers comprehensive services in real estate advisory, construction consulting, engineering, and litigation support. Consider HD Cornerstone's advanced and proactive commercial and multifamily real estate due diligence services. HD Cornerstone works with your acquisitions people on an outsourced basis or can supplement your in-house staff as needed. Visit them online at hdcornerstone.com or call 617-575-2300. That's hdcornerstone.com or call 617-575-2300. And we'll be right back on Money Matters Radio Network.
Rick Kaplan is right here on the Money Matters Radio Network. New England's commercial real estate scene is covered right here on the Money Matters Radio Network with Rick Kaplan.
And we're back on New England Real Estate Journal Radio. I'm Rick Kaplan with my co-host Eric Wilson, and we're talking with Joel and Joann Breuer of HG Cornerstone. And the final chapter of the Joann Breuer...
Sounds so ominous.
Well, I didn't mean it in that.
The next chapter.
The next chapter is brought to you by Goodman, Shapiro, and Lavati, attorneys who have been exclusively engaged in the practice of condominium law for over 30 years. The firm represents over 800 community associations. They have offices in Dedham, Mass. and in Lincoln, Rhode Island, dedicated to serving a growing southern New England condo market. Attorney Frank Lombardi heads a Rhode Island office. If you need guidance about anything condo, Goodman, Shapiro, and Lombardi are the right attorneys to call before the wrong things happen. Reach Frank Lombardi toll-free at 877-241-1600 or on the web at goshlaw.com. That's GOSHLAW.com. Again, that's 877-241-1600 or on the web at goshlaw.com. That's GOSHLAW.com. And I can breathe. that's
nice job. That's a long one.
So this is my final chapter.
Oh, no.
No. I'm having too much fun to quit.
Yeah, right.
I know. We could make this a 4-hour show.
We could.
You know,
Seriously.
But I think what's really fantastic is I turned when I turned 40, I really thought that life was going to be a certain way, and it wasn't, because I turned 40 right around 2008. And, we moved here, and we started living in the greater Boston area, and had a daughter getting ready to go into high school. My older 2 children were back in California. And, life took a lot of unexpected turns. But it's funny because I turned 46 this year, and I have to say I'm having the time of my life. I mean, I can't imagine life could be any more fun than it is right now. We really have hit the sweet spot, I think.
Well, it's like, I guess we had that you brought on, which was Harold Brown.
Right.
And he said you have to have some of those downturns.
Yep.
To
appreciate it.
That makes you better.
Yeah.
Right.
And it helps along the way.
And I really enjoyed talking with Harold, and we've gotten to know him since. And I have to say, what I really appreciate and enjoy is he's much like my family. So my grandfather was Harold, and Harold has a lot of the same mannerisms and has a lot of the same outlooks. And it's really like sitting at lunch with family. Mm-hmm. He just has such a great perspective, very down to earth person.
Well, he might have been also born in the same era.
He was. Definitely. Yeah, definitely was. So we'll fast forward how we became HG Cornerstone here in Boston.
So how did we become HG Cornerstone?
We became HG Cornerstone.
That is the question.
That's the question.
Well, we actually, when prior to 2008, I think that we were kind of going with opportunity. So opportunities would present themselves, and we would recognize it. And it's all been real estate and construction related, engineering related. And I was so fortunate when my mother met Joel and married him for me. And, had this matrimony.
Off to me.
Because we're 2 halves of a whole in many ways. And I think that as we've gotten older, maybe we've become more alike. But we balance. And so Joel is the genius, really, of the 2 of us. I might have the energy and love people, but really Joel's the brains behind all of it. And he has such an incredible mind and ability. I have so much respect for what he does that when he says something now after 21 years, I say, okay, honey, because he's right. And
every
usually,
man's dream, by the way.
I was going to say. Yeah, this is breaking a lot of barriers.
But I have to say that, it's become easy, because I used to argue and say, no, I think you're wrong. Now, that's not to say that I don't have my own strengths, but when Joel says this is, and I know he means it, I do know that he has whatever facts he needs to back it up. So when we came together to create HG Cornerstone, we brought Cornerstone Real Estate, we brought Breuer Construction, we brought the engineering and the expertise, and then we decided our children are grown and gone now. We're empty nesters. Maybe that's why we're having so much fun.
Because we moved to the city.
Actually, and our 2
now
grown...
we have revelations on this show. This place is great today.
Our 2... Actually, all 3 of our children live here now. Our 2 grown children, Jason and Jennifer, moved from California, and they relocated here also. They're both in Somerville. And then our youngest is in college. She's in Newton. And so we're all here, great family. And they're actually part of a lot of the HG Cornerstone experience. But we were able to decide not just opportunity that comes to us, that's part of it, but what opportunities do we want to create? What's our passion? What do we want to do with the second half of life? And so HG Cornerstone is really a culmination of our experiences, our expertise, brought to a place where we get to do things just a little bit differently.
And the things that we're passionate about,
right.
too, more importantly.
So this year was kind of, 2013 was a terrific year of getting those things, underway in a way that they're, it's such a strong company and we're doing so fantastic. And then we're getting ready to actually launch brokerage, which was relatively new. I've had so many people come to us and say, I really want to work for you. I really want to work with you. What can I do? You love what you do. I want to do this too. Mm-hmm. And as you know, Regan Hartley, who I met, actually Joel met her and said, you've got to meet this young woman. And as soon as I started talking to her, I saw myself in her. Of course, she's a much taller, prettier version of me at 23. But she has that, smart but ambitious, and you could see that fire in her eye. And so I said, well, how would you like to make a lot of money in commercial real estate? And she went, okay, teach me how. So she just finished her real estate course, and that really kind of set the tone of I have a real passion for people becoming all they can be. I love real estate. I love teaching people about real estate. And therefore, maybe we should have some really great people create an opportunity here and do more brokerage. So then I thought, in my modest fashion, I said, well, honey, we were out one night with another couple, and I said, you know what? I think I'm going to launch brokerage commercial specializing in multifamily. And honey, we're going to take over Boston. And the man that I was with is also a commercial real estate broker, and he said, I want to come to work with you. So all of a sudden, we set our sights that starting in 2014, we would launch the brokerage. We wanted to have 5 brokers, and I have filled those 5 spots in 1 month. And, we're just really excited about what's coming. Watching people grow.
Congratulations on the 5 hires. That's
Thank you.
huge
Thank
news
you.
for 2014.
And we know you'll be successful, like
Thank
everything
you.
else you do.
We're really excited about it. It's I sold Mary Kay for a little while when I was 18. I met this incredible woman in a pink Cadillac. Her name's Rebecca Evans, and she and I are still great friends. I'm still a member of Mary Kay. I still use the products, but I just knew that selling cosmetics wouldn't be my passion, that real estate is. Mm-hmm. But what's funny is now that I have this team, we're talking about not pink Cadillacs, but why not have gold 750s? We're going to have quarterly bonuses and things like, jewelry, and we all get excited about shoes. So we talk about, bonus on the next deal, shoes.
You and Joel?
Yeah. I do have to say, Joel does get excited about my shoes.
I've become pretty good at picking out shoes and handbags and
He
such.
picked out those birthday shoes.
Nice. I remember
So,
those.
yeah.
The pink birthday shoes?
Yep, I remember those.
I think everybody
Gold.
remembers those. Oh, were they gold?
They were gold.
Except for me, I have the worst
Gold
memory.
with
Well, she
some
actually has a
sparkles.
pair.
Yeah.
She has a pink pair too. So
I do.
Tied
I actually
off at the back
do.
of the
Yeah.
ankle.
yeah, gold and pink.
Boy, you remember that quite well there.
They were memorable
I
shoes.
have one of those weird memories on things that I keep in my mind.
I guess so.
Sometimes
So-
they're shoes.
If you can find a company, if you can find something that you do that you love, that's great. If you can infect other people to get excited, that's even better.
Yeah.
So at HG, our passion is real estate and our passion is people. And so we want to do a really great job. I was thinking when we were driving out here, I said, can't you see next holiday a billboard of my whole team will be in like Santa elves costumes?
Yeah.
And we'll say, bringing joy to the world. And, that's really kind of what we want to do. We just want to have a really good time and be top at what we do and, grow, help other people grow.
Well said.
Well said. You guys in that billboard, you guys are wearing Santa hats?
Yeah.
Nice.
Or
Yeah,
reindeer
little-
antlers.
little- and
Or
like,
antlers.
Maybe.
so I kind of have like that Rockettes vision, and it'll be the HG Cornerstone team.
Nice.
Men optional. I have a lot of women
optional.
on my team.
It'll be like the Santa miniskirt thing.
Well, I have to say that Joann has painted Joel to be like the most perfect person in the world.
He is perfect. He's surrounded
Not
by
painted.
women.
She's just telling the truth.
He
That's all.
is a genius who knows how to date. Let's get serious. He did way more in his first date than most guys do in their first 3 months of dating. And wow, I mean, talk
And
about
he's-
putting you in a whole new light, Joel. I thought this was an interview about Joann, but it's really been a characterization of Joel.
That's right.
Very good show today.
Yeah.
And he's why I curl my hair in the morning because I think, I just want him to look over and think I'm pretty.
Oh wow!
And I do. You're adorable.
I just had a tear come to my eye.
But this, seriously, like we wake up every day and can't wait to work. I mean, we really enjoy it. But
That's how Rick and I feel too.
But I know that about you two.
Yeah,
you
we do.
two
We love
actually
what we do.
really do
Love what
enjoy
we
what,
do.
you're
Yeah.
doing, and you love the people you're working with, and you love making those connections and those relationships.
Right.
I think that it's we're very similar along those lines.
And we love going out and meeting all the different
Yeah.
people in the industry, and we do that.
We do. The funny thing is,
Except on snowstorms like
right.
yesterday.
The funny thing is we don't really know much about the entire. I mean, we know what we read about.
A lot
the
more
industry.
this year, right?
Well, right. Now we've
Yeah.
gotten really more into it because we've talked to you guys. We've had a bunch of people on to talk about it. When we know the radio show, and it's been really fun for us to learn this whole new industry that him and I coming in had no
Yeah.
Nothing a year ago or 2 years ago when we first joined this company. We had no inkling on commercial real estate.
You know, and you picked a really good year because business is doing so well right now. I was at a networking event this week, actually a birthday party, and it's always networking.
Yeah, right.
And
A political fundraiser slash birthday party.
Yeah, and we were having a really great time. It was a terrific crowd, and everyone was really excited. And they were talking about a lot of the development deals that they're doing, and a lot of the real estate transactions. And I just looked at this man who was here from Florida, and I said, "Isn't this a good year to be in our business?" I mean, I love it every year, but this has been a fun year because people they're enjoying it more. They're smiling. There's a lot of deals going on. And so I know when you're out there, I know how much you network.
Right.
Next to me, I mean, you network more than I do. And it just makes
only
those
out 4
events.
nights a week. We have to add the 5th to keep up with Eric.
Yeah, right. It's tough. It's very difficult to add in all the networking.
But it's true.
There's a
and
lot
there's
going
actually
on.
more of it this year because people are doing more transactions.
Yes, and I think also there's a lot more companies are getting into hosting their own network events. There's just so many. I mean, there's like 5 or 6 a night to get to. And
Well,
I'm a big party hopper,
right.
so
Because
try
I
to
think
get
that's
at
a
least
big
2.
part of being in business now.
Yeah,
is
well, our
you have
industry's
to
all
be
that.
able to do that network.
You have to be. And one of the things that's really worked for us, though, is we network way outside of real estate and construction.
Right.
And that's where a lot of clients live.
Right,
They're
right.
in fashion, they're in
You never know where your
entertainment.
clients are
They're
coming from. in
Yeah.
this day and
So
age.
we'll go to any party.
Right, yeah.
Young,
Well,
old,
we
in
do
our
too.
industry, out of our industry. If we were at one event, we met a young man. He goes, "Hey, I'm going to this other event and it's better. I'm going to this other party." And we were like, "Hey, we're with you."
Nice.
And so showed up, and we were able to get into this really exclusive event because
not unlike college.
right. We're like, oh, there's a party train moving that way. I'm all
exactly.
aboard.
And it turned out to be a really terrific place to meet more people.
Yeah. That's
Speaking
awesome.
of that, we met those 2 really great women in Brookline. I need to call them.
Right.
We had a lot of fun.
That was a
There's
swank
revelations
party, too.
going on here. We just
Champagne
got
was
off on a
flowing.
weird tangent. Now we're talking about memories.
No, because that's business.
I
But
know.
it's you meet great people, and sometimes just talking about it, you remember, wow, I want to get in touch with them again. It may not be business, but you just meet a lot of great
It's
people.
funny too. In 2013, with social media and all the marketing and everything we're doing, like the newspaper, face to face has actually grown more in this last year. These networking events, like I've noticed it. The first year I joined, there was you probably had 2 or 3 a week. I mean, now there's 2 or 3 a night,
Yeah.
and there's literally one for every day. So
Well,
face to face has become a huge.
We could
importance.
talk about this all day long.
We
but
do talk about this all day, but
we
the
do
show
have-
can't do it.
Yeah, we have to go to a break. And
Isn't this a 4-hour show?
it should be for
Every
this show.
morning.
This should be
Just-
our
we got weird
Joel
talk
and
with the
Joann
guys.
quarterly report.
I like that.
But the show is brought to you, the interview is brought to you by Goodman, Shapiro, and Lombardi, attorneys who have been exclusively engaged in the practice of condominium law for over 30 years. The firm represents over 800 community associations. They have offices in Dedham, Mass. And Lincoln, Rhode Island, dedicated to serving a growing southern New England condo market. Attorney Frank Lombardi heads the Rhode Island office. If you need guidance about anything condo, Goodman, Shapiro, and Lombardi are the right attorneys to call before the wrong things happen. Reach Frank Lombardi toll-free at 877-241-1600 or on the web at goshlaw.com. That's GOSHLAW.com. Again, that's 877-241-1600 or on the web at goshlaw.com. That's GOSHLAW.com. And we'll be right back on Money Matters Radio Network.
It's New England Real Estate Journal Radio on the Money Matters Radio Network and online at moneymattersboston.com. Your home for commercial real estate news. It's New England Real Estate Journal Radio on the Money Matters Radio Network and online at moneymattersboston.com.
And we're back on New England Real Estate Journal Radio. I'm Rick Kaplan with my co-host Eric Wilson, and we're coming to the close of another show. Unfortunately, for 2013 as well.
This is going to be our last, last tape for us.
I feel so privileged that we were part of it.
Of course, we wouldn't
Yeah,
want it
thanks for
anyone
having
else.
us
We
on.
wouldn't have had it any other way.
But it's brought to you by AHP Architects, is a commercial architectural design firm located in the Metro Boston area. The team of highly talented architects and designers guide projects ranging from small tenant improvements to the largest, highly technical bioscience facilities. Creative and sustainable projects have recently been completed throughout New England, Indiana, Florida, and as well as Mexico. Bridging energy-sensitive and innovative concepts, AHP Architects partners with clients to create designs that inspire and improve lives. Visit them at ahparchitects.com. That's ahparchitects.com. It's become a long show, so I'm getting a little slow on the reads.
You
here.
are. That was.
It was a
that
little
was-
rough getting through
I
that
see
one.
that your print size has increased.
He made
though.
it very dramatic, didn't he? With the
Yeah.
dramatic pauses in there.
We take a lot out
To
of
the
him.
largest.
We take a lot of energy.
Highly technical.
So don't forget
biomedical
AHP Architects.
AHP Architects.
Great architectural firm in Metro Boston.
Very nice company.
All right.
And we want to thank Joel and Joann Breuer
For coming
of
on and
HG
and
Cornerstone.
sharing, some
Thanks for having
highlights
us.
and telling us a little bit about who you guys are. And congratulations on including brokerage in 2014.
Thank
That's
you.
right.
Thank
So
you.
if you have a
looking forward to it.
multifamily that you need to sell,
Let us know.
call HG
I have
Cornerstone.
buyers.
Nice.
And I want to thank all of our
One of the best lines ever, isn't it? I got buyers. I got something to sell.
well, I want to thank all our sponsors: HG Cornerstone,
Yep.
AHP Architects,
Consigli Construction.
Consigli
Construction.
Construction, also Goodman Shapiro and Lombardi, and also the New England Real Estate
Yep.
Journal.
Don't
we-
forget to check out next week's annual review.
our annual reviews coming out,
Our show's coming up. We're going to do a montage to 2013.
and we also January 30th. Save the date. We're going to have a big event at the Hyatt Regency in Boston. And we're going to introduce all the incoming
Yeah,
presidents.
we made a kind of a twist to
executive
it.
directors
We did a little twist to it. It
Of,
was supposed to be something totally different.
of the
And-
organizations
Yeah.
for the industry.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So
come by
come-
and say hi to the HG Cornerstone team because we'll be there.
And,
Definitely,
yeah,
yeah.
you got-
Then
and
you
you,
guys
if you
get to
haven't
meet.
met them, you have to meet them.
You have to. I know you've heard him every month for the last 6, but you definitely want to meet him in person because that's a privilege that only a few have had, and I hope that everyone has the opportunity
Wow.
to do it.
Oh, thank you.
My pleasure. Rick,
And-
happy holidays, you guys.
And
everyone.
happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
A
And we'll
happy
see
and a
everybody
safe
back in
holiday.
2014.
Yes.
And we'll be back in 2014, and this deal is done.